Welcome to CFDStudio. In this video, we will learn what is CFDStudio, how to start CFDStudio, what are the contents in the CFDStudio installation folder, and we'll learn about the licenses for PORFLOW. CFDStudio is a graphical user interface based pre and post processor for the CFD solver PORFLOW. CFDStudio can be used as a preprocessor and as a post processor. As a preprocessor, CFDStudio can be used to create meshes for use with the PORFLOW CFDStudio solver. You can also set up a problem to be solved with PORFLOW. As a post processor, CFDStudio can be used to visualize the results generated by the PORFLOW CFD solver. You can draw contours and isosurfaces, visualize velocity vectors, and draw streamlines through the domain of interest. Please note that CFDStudio is not the name of the CFD solver. The name of the CFD solver is PORFLOW. Once you have installed the CFDStudio, the location on the Windows OS will be c:\acri/cfdstudio/PORFLOW. This is the default location. The user can choose a different location for the software to be installed. Now we will see how to start CFDStudio. There are three ways to start CFDStudio. One, you can double click on the PORFLOW icon on your desktop. On your desktop, you will, after installation of CFDStudio on your desktop, you will find a link called PORFLOW and a link called PORFLOW tutorials. Double clicking on the PORFLOW icon will open CFDStudio. Once you have double clicked on the PORFLOW icon on your desktop, this is the screen you will see when PORFLOW is started. Now let us see how we can start CFDStudio from your PORFLOW CFDStudio installation folder. On your Windows operating system, this is the folder containing the CFDStudio PORFLOW installation. You can see by default it is installed in the path c:\acri/cfdstudio/PORFLOW. These are the contents of the CFDStudio PORFLOW installation folder. If you scroll down, you will see a file called run.porflow.bat. You can double click on this file to start CFDStudio PORFLOW. Now you can see the CFDStudio has been started after we double click on the run.porflow.bat file. Let us close CFDStudio and let us see third method of starting CFDStudio. Finally, in your PORFLOW CFDStudio installation folder, you will find another executable called PORFLOW startup.exe. You may also double click on this file to start CFDStudio PORFLOW. Again, you can see the CFDStudio initial screen after we double clicked on the PORFLOW startup.exe. Let us close this CFDStudio instant and continue looking at the contents of the CFDStudio installation folder. You can close CFDStudio by clicking on this close button on the top right. So we've seen the various methods to start CFDStudio. Now the PORFLOW solver, the actual CFD solver, is also located in your CFDStudio folder. On your Windows OS, you will find two files called porflow-win32.exe and porflow-win64.exe. Originally, the porflow-win32.exe was for 32-bit processors while the PORFLOW-Win64.exe was for 64-bit processors. These days, both these files are identical, as processors these days are all 64-bit. In your CFDStudio PORFLOW folder, you will find the files PORFLOW-Win32.exe and PORFLOW-Win64.exe. For the solver and CFDStudio to function together properly, the solver executables, that is the PORFLOW-Win32.exe and PORFLOW-Win64.exe, must be located in the same folder as the license files. Additionally, the license is only for the PORFLOW CFD solver. The CFDStudio pre and post processor does not require any license for use. Solver. Now we are again back to the CFDStudio installation folder on your Windows operating system. If you scroll up, you will see three files called acrimsg.acr, acrinit.acr, and acr_eval_2.acr. These three files constitute a demo license for PORFLOW that is packaged with every installation of CFDStudio. This demo license is valid for 1 month and it is full physics enabled. So all the physics in PORFLOW can be used with this demo license. The only limitation is only problems with less than 4,000 nodes can be solved using this demo license. This demo license is valid for 30 days from the installation of your CFDStudio. The file acrinit.acr contains various PORFLOW initialization and default values for solver constants. It also has various inbuilt properties. The file acrimsg.acr contains diagnostic error and warning messages. The file acreval2.acr contains license information such as validity, duration of validity of the license, and the number of nodes, which is again 30 days and 4,000 nodes. When you have been sent the full license and the license has been installed inside your CFDStudio folder, you will find a couple of new files as part of your license files. You will still find the acrinit.acr and the acrimsg.acr files. Additionally, you will find a file ending with _2.acr, and optionally you may find a file whose name ends in _4.acr. Now on this machine the full license has been installed. And now you can see the license file acrimsg.acr, acrinit.acr. These are the initialization and message files for the PORFLOW solver. Additionally, you will find a file called acri_int_2.acr. This is on this machine. On your machine, the file name may be something else. It could be example_2.acr or navier_2.acr. So the first part of the name may be different, but the last part of the name will be same. The file name will end in _2.acr. Optionally, you may find another file whose name ends in _4.acr. These files together constitute the PORFLOW license. Now, for CFDStudio and PORFLOW to operate together properly, the PORFLOW executable files, that is PORFLOW-Win32.exe and PORFLOW-Win64.exe, must be located in the same folder as the license files. The license files either being the demo license files acrinit.acr, acrimsg.acr, or the acreval2.acr, or the full license acrinit.acr, acrimsg.acr, and the _2.acr files. In your CFDStudio PORFLOW installation folder, you will find the executable files, and if you scroll up, you will find all the license files. They should always be located together in the same folder. So that ends the introduction to CFDStudio. Thank you.